Hey, you're listening to the Boston Celtics newsfeed. This is Celtics Roundtable, picking up where we left off. So if you missed our breakdown of the star schemes and matchups employed in the Celtics Game 1 comeback, go back and listen to the Roundtable breakdown, which was posted Sunday afternoon. In this particular podcast, we're going to preview Game 2. Let's get it started.
I don't know how to feel about going into Game 2. I mean, Game 1 was sort of what we thought. It was a barn burner, and the Celtics hit a ton of threes. If I'm the Wizards, I'm not feeling too down, especially since it looks like that Markieff Morris is going to be back for Game 2, especially also when you consider that the Celtics shot basically 50% from 3 in Game 1. I don't think you can expect the Celtics to be quite that hot going forward. So, if I'm the Wizards, I don't think it's panic time or anything close to that. Do you agree with me there, Levy?
I don't think it's panic time, but I would think if you're the Wizards, it's hard to keep the thought out of your head that this was the game we could have stolen Boston. We had Game 1 locked, where the Wizards were really, really good. We were up by 17. We were crushing them, and we lost. And we didn't just lose like at a buzzer beater, by the way. We lost kind of handily, ultimately. I think it's hard to come back from that completely for Game 2. I'm not saying they can't win the game. Of course they can win the game. They're very, very good. But I don't know. I would think that would eat at you a little bit, where you're like, oh, that was the one. Because you wouldn't really plan on winning 2 games in Boston. So you hope to take one. And that was such an opportunity for them, and they missed it.
Yeah, it's super disappointing for them. It's not panic mode, really, for them until they get to their home court and they lose one. Honestly, that's where it's going to where they have to worry about it. If they can get Wall back to somewhat of what we saw with him in the round 1, then they're going to be feeling okay. But I think the biggest thing is what the Celtics figured out defensively on the Wizards, and hopefully that's what they carry forward.
Yeah, Jonathan, we've talked about how, stopping John Wall in transition is going to be one of the keys in this series, and just kind of slowing him down in general, since everything sort of runs through him. We saw the Celtics be successful throwing a lot of different guys at him, hedging out on the pick and roll with Al Horford. I think Wall's just going to come in with a little bit of a different mindset going into Game 2.
Keep it the same. Make John Wall a jump shooter. If John Wall's going to beat you from deep, so be it. John Wall was pretty aggressive. He put up 20 shots. He didn't get to the line much, sure, but he got to the rim a lot. The Celtics just made great plays on the ball. I think that the Celtics are going to throw back the same rotations and the same schemes. Actually, Jaylen Brown, I believe, will start.
I agree with you that just keeping him out of the paint is paramount. Even if he's killing you from mid-range, you're just going to have to live with it. Because, when he gets into the paint, that's when he starts getting everybody else involved. And then, obviously, keeping him slowed down in transition, I think that's going to be really difficult. I think that the Celtics, because they're up, and it's just going to be a huge mental task for the Celtics to continue to slow down the Wizards in transition. Because in that half court, if you're keeping him out of the paint, he's generally not the most effective player unless that jump shot's really working. And even if it is, it's probably just going to be 2 points and not 3.
But don't you kind of feel like the Wizards were exposed this game? Like they have an issue with their roster composition that can't be fixed when you play the Celtics. That 1-5 screen and roll with Isaiah and Horford really exploits Marcin Gortat. Where is there a fix for that? Because you go down the roster, you're like, all right, let's say they go somewhere on the bench. The only other big man with any experience is Jason Smith, and he's not going to do it. What do the Wizards do about that?
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point. There's a reason why they're 20th in defense, and we're worse than that since the All-Star break. They don't have big man depth. We'll see. Is Jan Mahimi going to be back?
That's really key for them. If they can find a way to get him back, he's a defensive big man that they could really, really use. And it would make a big, big difference for them to stop that pick and roll. On the other side, by the way, Al Horford and Marcus Smart, at least in one possession in Game 1, were covering Gortat way, way, way too far out. Gortat would have the ball at the three-point line, and Horford would be right up on him. And ultimately, that would end up in somebody else getting a wide-open layup. I don't know what that was about. That happened way too many times. They can give Gortat lots of space. He's not going to take that shot, and if he wants to, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think that happens when, that they try to be so aggressively as a team, and then it just kind of leaks over into, over covering somebody that doesn't really need to be covered. And that's the thing is, if they're going to hedge Wall like they did, Wall could hurt them with his assists. He had 16 assists today, but that extra intensity on Wall also led him into that 8 turnovers. So I think they're willing to take that, let the other players beat them, and try to take Wall off the board.
Yeah, the Wizards scored 111 points. It's not like they were bad offensively, but we thought that this was going to be an offensive-oriented series because, as we said in our preview podcast, what are the Wizards going to do with Isaiah Thomas? I mean, it was the same problem the Bulls faced when they had Robin Lopez out there. As we've been saying, Gortat's too slow-footed. I mean, Jan Mahimi, maybe he can help a little bit, but coming off of injury, and he's 30 years old right now. I mean, he's not the fleetest of foot. And he's had a down year, at least compared to last year. And then Markieff Morris would be like the next guy up, but he's not a plus defender or anything like that. At the center spot, he's a little bit quicker there, but he's not a good defender. They're going to have to continue to put up points, I think, to match what the Celtics are going to be doing.
If Morris is healthy and he can play, I think it would be interesting, kind of similar to what Zaire said a bunch of months ago for the Celtics, but like if they just committed to offense and they try to make their offense is the most as possible, and then just say like Gortat's not defending. Well, he had 16 points, so he did kind of score, but he was a huge minus on the plus minus. So if they just committed to offense with Morris at the 5, I think that would be kind of an interesting. Just put shooters like Oubre. Hopefully he can keep shooting, and Porter with Beal and Wall. It might be an interesting look.
The way you just quoted Zaire from months back was incredible. That was great to see. Thank you for listening. I can't believe you just pulled a couple months back Zaire quote.
Hey man, he was talking about smart. I have to listen, man.
So okay, I mean, so if we're thinking that Markieff Morris is going, and I don't know what's going to happen with him. Is that a good matchup for the Wizards though? I mean, then you're slotting him on Horford.
I don't like it much because one of the advantages that they had were offensive rebounds, and you got to think that the Celtics would be the better rebounding team at that point if you lose Gortat's input.
I think Al Horford is really set up to dominate in this series. I mean, if Markieff Morris is covering Al Horford, I think Al Horford's going to feast, guys. Markieff Morris is a 6'10" guy, I understand, but come on. He is not built or designed in any way to D up a guy like Al Horford in the post. That is not his game. He's
just based on the replay. It's hard for me to feel like Markieff Morris is going to be 100%. The way that ankle turned, it was a full turn.
All right, but what do the Wizards do? It's up to them to respond. The Celtics, once again, their small ball units really exposed the Wizards defensively to slow down the Celtics. What other adjustments do you think they should make at this point?
Gortat dominated and the Wizards dominated. Gortat got dominated and the Wizards got crushed. So it's hard to say, like, should they be trying to work through Gortat more and have him? I mean, that's not a good idea, right? He did have some nice passes in the first quarter, but it's really all about John Wall. Gortat got 8 offensive rebounds, which is awesome, and 13 rebounds total in that first game, but 39 minutes, minus 15, and like you said, they started off 16-0. So there's a 31-point swing there for Gortat. I think if you're the Wizards and you're Scotty Brooks, I mean, let's remember, Scotty Brooks is not the greatest coaching mind either. Like Brad Stevens against him, it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty good deal. Like Brad Stevens is playing chess, and Brooks is not playing anything at all. He's like riding a bicycle or something. So ultimately, I think they're just going to try and feed Gortat and or not necessarily feed him, but like keep him in the game and hope to exploit that advantage on the boards. Because I don't know what else they're supposed to do with the center position, really. Unless Mahimi is back and fully back, they're just screwed there.
Yeah, I think one thing that the Wizards could do, I remember when the Celtics were down 0-2 to the Bulls, I think it was Nate Duncan talked about setting that screen for Isaiah Thomas a little higher above the three-point line. I think that the Wizards could employ that same tactic where Gortat sets the screen a little higher just to open the floor.
That's the Wizards' bread and butter. That's what they do. They usually go to that, like, for real in the fourth quarter. But perhaps they should have done it a little bit more in the third, that really high screen and roll, and say, okay, keep up with John Wall, and that's going to be really difficult to do. What you got to do in that situation is trap John Wall, and hopefully he won't go around you, or at least prevent that, or through you. I mean, it's easier said than done. But Gortat's incapable of making a play 30 feet from the basket. All right, round 2 is here. The Celtics are up 1-0 on the Wizards as we preview this game 2. And if you want to get tickets to Celtics playoff games, you got to be sure to download the SeatGeek ticketing app. With just 2 taps using their seamless mobile experience, you can get concert, comedy, and theater tickets available too, and it's all fully guaranteed. Listeners to CLNS Radio can support this production and get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. Here's how. You download the free SeatGeek app, go to the Settings tab, and click Add a Promo Code. Then enter the promo code CELTSNEWS, all one word, and SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter the promo code CELTSNEWS today. So we've talked a little bit about what sort of lineups Brad Stevens is going to put out there. Some of us think that Jalen might get the start in Game 2. Others think Smart. I look at this. Kelly Olynyk was so effective, but he only got 18 minutes in this game. Amir Johnson, the opposite. He wasn't effective at all. Do we see him sort of riding the bench for the rest of the series? I mean, where's Amir Johnson, 16th in real plus minus? Where's he been?
That's a good question.
On the bench is the answer.
Definitely on the bench.
He's been watching the NBA pass him by, is what he's been. Like the league's become a 3-point shooting small ball league anyway, and the Celtics, who were already that, became that much more after going down 0-2 to the Bulls.
The only energy I see from him is waving the towel or dropping the pants on the bench.
Yeah, I'd like to see all of his minutes go to Kelly Olynyk. Jerebko, I mean, he seems to be on the downswing of his career. Yeah,
I don't know about you guys. I'm just so happy to be seeing NBA like it was the 80s all over again. 1 million points are being scored. It's really fun. Awesome athletic things. People can always come back no matter what the score is. That's what professional basketball is all about. Not these we held them to 100 points again kind of a thing. It's really nice to see just explosions of points, which I guess we're going to see in this series the rest of the way. It's great.
And quickly, just in terms of Smart versus Jalen to start, I personally just like Smart because I felt like what they needed to start the game today was that defensive intensity, and I feel like he brings that every game, so that's just you can check that box. Jalen, I love him, and he's the best, but I don't know what you're getting from him at this point. Like today he played 6 minutes of great basketball. Other games he'll play 6 minutes of really, he'll look a little bit lost on, where to switch and stuff. So, but Jalen should play more minutes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice having Smart as that change of pace guy too. And he was magnificent on John Wall. I really think he should continue to get the lion's share of the minutes on John Wall. Just his anticipation is excellent, perhaps best on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the physicality to match John Wall, and Wall couldn't draw fouls on him, although he tried a ton. So I like Isaiah on Wall to start. I think it's fine. He's going to look to be a facilitator more to start the games, but as the game wears on, I think you want to give him a little bit more of a physical presence in Smart. I also like Avery Bradley on Bradley Beal. I think you just got to glue Bradley to Beal the whole game, and he's just the one guy you can't let get hot.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Wall just has a humongous game, or Beal has a even better game, and he played well. That's enough. They can upset any game, so you never feel comfortable even though they won.
The only way that Wall has an amazing game is if the Celtics let up on the defensive end and let him get too many easy looks.
He's streaky though too. He'll make a shot with a hand in his face if he's feeling it.
When you ask about the Celtics mentality, I feel like because they survived the series, going down 0-2 to the Bulls was really good for them in terms of just as a growth point for them, where they understand, first of all, what they're capable of, but also how seriously you have to take every moment in the playoffs. And they've now won 5 games in a row. I expect their mentality to be hardcore. Isaiah Thomas has always had things to prove. The way people have viewed Isaiah is sort of the way a lot of outsiders have viewed the Celtics this year, calling him the fake 2 seed for a while and now a fake 1 seed. Isaiah's sort of never really been believed in either. And maybe that's overplayed to some degree, all of that stuff. But still, it doesn't mean that they don't internalize that and always feel like there's something to prove. This is a team full of guys who've never been to the finals or never really even sniffed the finals. So this is a great opportunity for them to advance to the next round. And I don't see any reason at all why they won't come out breathing fire.
All right, any final points before we wrap this up? We cover everything?
I think so.
Feels like we covered everything.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's important how they start, but I do like the fact that Stevens is low key. He just chills out and he figures out who's playing good that day and kind of just he plays that team like that, like a fiddle, like a world class cellist.
Yeah, the team really embodies the coach with their calm attitude. I mean, when Brad Stevens stays calm through some struggles, the team responds positively, and they really take on that Kelly Olynyk mindset of aggressive, fearless.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to Game 2. I think it should just be an excellent game, and we'll see if the Celtics can hold serve at home. It'll just be a huge, huge win for them if they manage to do that. But I'm expecting another excellent game with a lot of points put up on the board. Yeah, we'll be here for the rest of the playoffs as far as the Celtics go. So that was Jonathan Levy, Lucky's Pipe, and my brother Jonathan. I'm Jon Ignal. We want to thank you for tuning in today. You can follow us on Twitter at CLNS Roundtable and subscribe, rate, and review the Boston Celtics news feed, and we'll see you next time.